We're here again in Dumaguete, and this is the facade of Mike Beach Resort. And with me is the owner himself, Mr. Mike. How are you,
Yes,
Mr. Mike?
I'm doing great tonight. Thanks.
Mr. Mike is an American, and I'm a Filipino. That's my beautiful, sexy wife trying to enter the boat.
Wow, very nice.
Look at that. And she's already 50. She still looks good.
Yeah.
And these are our guests from Switzerland. Yesterday we had guests from Lithuania. And that's Apo Island as the backdrop if you are staying in Mike's Beach Resort. How lucky can you be, huh? You have a beach and you have the backdrop of Apo Island right in front of your nose.
Well, that's great. That's what that's our place. That's Apple Island.
Yeah,
We need it.
You can be so lucky than us Filipinos. Imagine, you know where to buy the property, huh? Prime lots, huh?
That was the doing of my lovely wife, Joanne.
You know, that's why it's a pity that Filipinos are not diving, so they're not buying lands like what you're doing. Huh? And look at that site. Huh? We're just turning on the corner. It's filled with beaches here. You know, Darwin has the mountain.
Yeah, beautiful.
And what's the name of that mountain, by the way?
Talinas.
Again?
Talinas.
Talinas.
Yes.
Oh, that's Talinas Mountain. Huh? Imagine
Yeah.
that. Huh? Talinas Mountain as your backdrop.
Yeah.
You've got the sea.
And a
You've got-
beautiful flat sea it is here today, huh?
And you've got the sun, the sand, and scuba diving, huh? Amazing, huh? And you are not that far from Apo Island. Imagine, with a boat like this, you can be there in 20 minutes, and if you're using a speedboat running maybe 28 knots, you can be here in 5 minutes.
Wow, that's pretty fast, yeah.
So, find out whether you can come here to this place in Dumaguete, which is just so simple because airlines now are dropping their prices to as low as sometimes 1 peso. You believe that?
1 peso
Yeah.
plus taxes.
No, no.
No.
Wait a minute. I think you're right. 1 peso plus taxes. Yeah.
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 But
So you've
some
seen
great
seen
deals
yeah
out there,
you've
though.
seen the ad of Cebu Pacific. That's what they do. Huh?
Yeah,
1
well,
peso plus tax. That is still cheap.
That's very cheap.
Yeah.
That's
Now
great
their
deals.
normal rate is basically 1,500, below 2,000.
Mhm.
You know.
Things have come down, which is
Mhm.
great for us, but maybe not so good for the airlines.
Well, never mind. It's good for the resorts.
Yeah.
And for
It's
the
great
tourists.
for us, yeah.
So, again, a dive master has to give a briefing before you start the dive, which they're doing here in Mike's Beach Resort. You never dive without a plan, okay? Well, look at these guys. Huh? From Switzerland, they just had below 10 dives and they're doing everything right. See that? I think their instructor was a good one, huh?
I think it must have been, but it wasn't me. They just came in today, huh?
Yeah, I heard they had their course in Coron.
Yeah.
And I am telling you, they're diving great, you know, as if they're already old-time divers. What a smile from your dive master's name. What's
Yeah,
his
that's
name again?
Richard.
Richard. Okay, Richard, I saw your okay sign and you're a happy man, huh? Okay, go, Richard. That's
Wow.
it. With no mask, huh? You know, that's the way to do it. He just saved 100 PSI. No, that's
No.
it. That's the way to do it.
No regulator, no mask.
You're gonna save 100 PSI.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can do that, unlike that, okay? This woman is diving with the regulator. When she jumps,
Whoop.
you consume at least 100 PSI. So when you're low in air, 100 PSI is a lot of air.
That can injure dive early, yeah.
Right.
sure.
That's why it's nice to be a professional diver because you would know what to do, huh? Well, you know, one thing nice diving with you guys is you become to be a lazy diver here. Because you've got good service. They put on your fins for you.
Yes.
You know, they do all the work.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be. You mean it's not that way everywhere?
It's not. So that's why you become a lazy diver, huh?
Yeah.
Look
Well,
at that service. Somebody's already waiting there to put on your tank, you know, instead of doing it yourself. That's why I never want to dive in Europe or America because labor is so expensive. You gotta do everything
Yeah.
yourself. Here,
So when you're on vacation, services should be part of the package, right?
here in Mike's Beach Resort, it's only the dive master who will be wearing his own fins.
Yeah. he's-
All right, so we're about to begin our dive, and my wife is just so excited. Look at this clown here. Ah, you want to clown around, huh? Okay, so you're having fun, Mr. Dive Master. Here we go. We're starting the dive, and I hope visibility should be great.
It looks good today, huh?
Okay. Well, just a piece of advice. If you want good visibility, always dive 3 to 4 hours before the slack,
Yes.
going to high tide. And never dive on low tide because visibility is going to get bad.
And don't dive when it's really rough. Sandy bottoms.
Yes.
Well, compared to yesterday or at Apple Island, visibility was much better today, yes?
Right. But
Much
anyway,
calmer ocean.
that's the advantage of Apo Island. Whether it's low tide, high tide, sometimes it doesn't really matter because it's really a great dive site here.
And the visibility is good anytime. Any dive, you'll have good viz no matter what the tides are.
Now, talking about the tides, sometimes it's so pitiful that dive masters don't even care to look at the dive table, because if there's a drop from high to low of at least 1.5, you are not supposed to go scuba diving because there's a lot of down current. And a lot of people don't know that because they're not being educated properly. But here in Mike's Resort, I seen the dive table, so they're doing it the proper way. That's the way to do it, the professional way.
You've got to take care of your guests.
Right,
especially on drift dives, yes.
So remember that.
Which, of course, Apple Island is famous for its couple of drift dives, Kogan and Coconut.
Right. So, another piece of advice, Coconut is the best dive site here. It's the highlight of the diving. But if you can't prove to the resort owner and the dive shop that you're good, they will never bring you there because it's so beautiful and the currents are so strong.
Yeah, you never take a diver to Coconut without observing them on a couple of dives first.
And this is the friendly pufferfish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. Looks like a puppy dog.
So you were saying something. I was disturbing you. You said something about diving again before we discuss about the pufferfish. Well, never mind. You must have forgotten. So we're back to the leatherback corals. Huh? Did you notice
that's your
that?
favorite?
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Cabbage corals.
Cabbage corals, plenty of that,
I'm on a top shot right now. Well, the only way to appreciate it is you got to do a lot of top shots on this video. So, just to show you how healthy the corals here and how abundant. Huh?
And this is hard corals. This is over at the sanctuary, down below the sanctuary. Huh? It's one of the few places you'll find the cabbage corals and hard corals at Apple Island.
So you are saying the reason why it's called sanctuary because you're not allowed to fish, even the people from Apple Island.
Yeah, that's correct. The sanctuary is cordoned off, and there's no boats and no fishing, no activity other than scuba diving, and there's a limit of, I believe it's 14 divers per day.
Oh,
that's inside the sanctuary.
Wow, that's really very good, huh? So who makes these rules, by the way, Mike?
Well, the Apple Island is controlled by the federal government, the DNR and
or the barangay, maybe, huh?
well, the barangay captain's involved in it as well. But Apple Island's a federally controlled marine sanctuary area. So in the local divings in Darwin, it's controlled by the local government, the mayor.
Okay, a while ago I saw fire coral, and I'm gonna show it to you again. These are the fire corals, and you have to be careful. They're color brown. Okay, I don't know if it's color brown on my video, but you gotta be careful with these fire corals because if you go near these fire corals, you need a lot of vinegar.
Yeah, you be careful. That's why you should always wear a long exposure suit as well, something to cover the body.
See, the backdrop is the fire coral.
Yeah.
Are you aware these are fire corals?
Yeah.
It took me a lot of time to check how these fire corals look, because every time I feel itchy, maybe I get near the fire corals.
Yeah, you wonder where did that come from?
Well, like yesterday, I had a lot of itch on my body, but, I had the best vinegar you had in the boat.
Ah, very good.
Super vinegar.
Super vinegar.
Well, what we were talking earlier about buoyancy, and not touching any of the plants or animals, corals.
I know if this is a true story. One time, there was a diver caught in Apo Island wearing gloves, and the Bantay Dagat decided to skin dive and said, "Oh, look, I'm going to fine you because you're wearing gloves." I just heard that story
Yeah.
from some people, and it looks like they're doing their job, huh?
Well, they do try to enforce that, and it's, I think, with good reason, because with inexperienced divers, if they're using gloves, then they tend to grab and hold on to things more often, touching and poking. The water's warm. We don't need gloves here.
You know, you're right, because the first time I've been to Dumaguete, I had a big fight with a dive shop. Said, "I'm not gonna touch the corals. I just want to make sure that I don't get bitten."
Yeah.
But you'll never get bitten actually if you know how to dive properly,
Unless you go up to one of the most aggressive fish
which
known
is
to man.
which is the triggerfish.
Well, that's one of them, but the one that is the most aggressive that bites frequently. In fact, I probably have 20 or 30
So
bites.
which fish is this?
Well, you all know Nemo,
Oh, Nemo.
the
Okay.
clownfish, of
Oh
course.
yeah, but Nemo has small teeth.
Yeah,
I don't mind. I don't mind his bite. Small
Yeah.
teeth. But triggerfish has big teeth. You know,
Yeah.
they will really.
They can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, they can do a lot of damage with your fins or your wetsuit, huh?
Yeah, the Nemos just are a little bit startling when they're out there protecting their enemies, and they're very aggressive, and it's just a defensive mechanism when you get too close to their home.
You know, Mike, you're a PADI instructor. We're both instructors. You know, I only get students every time they get to watch my show, and they say, "Ah, look at this life of this guy. He's really enjoying it, huh? He's got so much passion." You know, unfortunately, there's only one thing I cannot share with the viewers: the feeling of ecstasy while you're diving.
Yeah, there's nothing
It's
like
the
it.
feeling of ecstasy, yeah.
Freedom. It's incredible. First time I put a mask on and looked under the sea, it was a whole new world opened up to me. Yeah, very beautiful.
No, there's only one thing I need to study. I know nitrogen is bad, but is nitrogen unhealthy for the body or healthy for the body? What do you think, really?
Well, I think in excess, like anything, in excess, too much nitrogen is of course bad. That's what
Right.
causes the bends. It can cause nitrogen narcosis.
Yeah, but one thing I like with diving with my nitrogen is it's something like it's cleansing my body because I breathe deep and slowly, and the technique in meditating is breathing
Same
deep
thing,
and slowly.
deep and slow,
Yeah. And sabi nga lang sa Tagalog kanya daw makitid ng utak ng tao kasi masama ang breathing. You understand Tagalog?
No, a little bit of Sabayan.
Okay. What I said in Tagalog was, if you don't breathe deep, the tendency is you're hard-headed or you're stressed out because people have to breathe in deep.
Yeah.
And then slowly. Even when you're sleeping. You try to watch people who are snoring, their breathing is really bad.
shallow.
Yeah. And that's why I recommend diving because here if
practice every
you
dive.
practice it because if you breathe fast here like like that, oh my god, you're just good for a 10-minute dive and nobody will dive with you again, huh?
First to the boat. Yeah. Slow and deep breathing. That's what we practice for sure.
Hey, you're a lucky dad, huh? Because you have a son here who's already helping you. Keith, come on, join us here. And Keith, by the way, came all the way from San Francisco, USA. Huh?
That's where I was born.
I know you don't want to go back to San Francisco because you don't want to do some cold diving, huh?
No, it's very cold there. Hoods, gloves, booties. Hoods, gloves, booties, everything like that. When I got certified, it was 48 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is Celsius, but it's cold. It's, when you take your mask off to do your mask recovery, that was shocking.
Yeah, beautiful dives, poor visibility, cold water, but still a beautiful place.
But you've got the great white there, huh?
Yes.
Do you have the great white?
Where we live is where I got certified is maybe 30 kilometers away from a very well-known great white breeding zone. So yes, there's many great whites where I was raised diving, and it's kind of one of those things where you just don't think about it.
Right. But we'd like to educate people and not get frightened with what Keith said. Actually, the truth of the matter is the only reason why the sharks they would like to get into you is because they can smell the blood.
That, or they think you're a seal. Sometimes when you're in an all black wetsuit, black hood, you're swimming on the surface free diving.
Yeah.
You look like a seal.
Exactly.
And they eat seals.
Well, let me tell you this: when you're diving, you see a shark. They're the one running away.
Yep. Oh.
No, you don't see a shark. You don't see a shark trying to charge you and trying to bite you.
Never.
You'll never see that.
No.
They're the one running away.
I would almost kind of like to see that one day, but not yet.
So, is this the friend you're talking about that's biting you, Mr. Clownfish?
I think that's the one. Yeah.
He's the same guy.
I have 3 scars on my hand from clownfish, actually.
See, now, where were your gloves?
On the boat because I couldn't wear them.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Watch out for the Nemos; they'll get you.
So we're ending the dive. Okay, so we didn't reach the buoy. So this guy is doing it well because you need a surface balloon for the boat to see you. Look at that. There you go. That's the marker. Come on, stand up, guy, because the boat needs to see us.
Yep. You don't want any boats coming and riding over you.
Then we're all safe because of that balloon, and the boat comes in and say, "Oh, those are the divers with that red surface balloon." Okay, and we'd like to thank again Mike Beach Resort for hosting us here in Dumaguete. Thank you very much, Mike, and Keith, our dive master.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks again. It was great diving.